Welcome back. Time for some more Higurashi. A dangerous place to be sure, but what exactly is going on? With paranoia rampant, the paranormal itself seeming to be making way for more natural issues of the mind, and yet we have predictions and gas leaks. And exactly how many people or families are truly involved. Still, with the Shion-Mion switcheroo now firmly out in the open, what else is there to be understood about what I've seen before? One way to find out: strap in, get a drink. Shall we begin? Excavation equipment? Back at the dump and all the rust buckets and whatnot. Why is she making some profound speech? Are the others there to confront her about something? Someone's not been disposing of their garbage correctly. At least double bag it. Don't want it leaking everywhere. Got to climb that old Volkswagen camper van. She's the protagonist in this story. But why was she just speaking in the third person? For emphasis, but compared to some of the other beginning intros of arcs, this only had one moment of whereas there have been a lot of what the hell kind of bits. At least, since we're heading back to one of the first locales and environments that we saw when we started off with Higurashi, we might finally see what else is hidden beneath all of the trash. And hopefully no one gets a nasty dose of tetanus from climbing through all of it. And with so many of Higurashi's storylines and the like, starts off fine, I'm enjoying the slice of life bits, and it hits a roadblock and goes downhill incredibly fast. We're enjoying time in the sun. Omae wa shinderu. He is too good with that water pistol. She has a full arsenal there at her disposal. Oh yeah. She's got to find a new bit of weaponry pretty sharp. She came prepared. Although as soon as she went out into the open, Satoko should have shot her. Holy child of traps. She glued the trigger or the spout. Jams it all up. How tricky. We can't just have a fun time out in the school and whatnot. Comes a battle to the death. Well, knowing this show. Did she have a good way of cleaning it out? So what, you're just going to take out the water tank and throw it at her? I mean, she just ruined the gun, to be fair. Do you think they got bored of the usual animation and style for Higurashi and wanted to try something else out? You know, I'm probably enjoying this more than I should, considering they're actually just not having to worry about anything other than maybe getting slightly damp. The reflections of the guns and whatnot. Who was hit first? Do we have a camera replay? And with that, we are all victors. Is that going to be good enough for them, though? Not having a definitive victor? Ah, we'll just try again. Okay. But it has to be held right now. What are some of those sound effects? Like, they just put into the recording booth, like, make some noises. What is that pose? I feel as though there's a certain person who directed this episode. Reminds me of I can't remember which one it was, episode 5 or something, of Gurren Lagann. Just completely out of left field in a lot of its styles. I don't think the well, no, there probably would be some customers who would enjoy that on him. Of course, if she was out there in a maid costume, he wouldn't be too far behind. It does feel really at odds and weird. Am I having a fever dream? Am I actually recording the episode right now? Oh no, we have to kick someone out then for you. We just stand and wait. Really trying anything she can. If I can't sit here, you have to compensate me somehow. She could be easily lured in, can't she? Yeah, I guess life in the inner city and whatnot would be a lot different, as we've seen before with like non beauty and whatnot. Are we going to now explore why she moved or what happened before she moved here? Now, why would it possibly fall apart? I mean, it's good to have that kind of idealism, enjoy your days to the fullest, but when there's evil forces at play. And just after they say that, is it going to come pouring down? I mean, as much as she enjoys crawling through all of the piles of discarded. Is this her little hidey hole? There's the rain. The heavy rain on the metal roof there. I actually kind of like the noise, but hopefully it's not inferring anything. She not content with her life at all. Wow. This isn't damaging at all, is it? Why are you asking questions like this? I see. I mean, it does seem as though she's the one that is the one separating the family out. Although we only see one side of it, but it's the way she presented it. Ah. I now see why she likes that dump as a second home. I mean, we can all be a little disheartened about a situation or how things turned out. You don't have to force yourself to be happy. That's only going to lead to many a problem down the road. Internalized trauma and all that. Good to see that he actually cares. Not sure I agree with the interior decorating style. I don't know. Fair, yeah. A new start kind of thing. I will say, since moving to the this new home, I do feel a lot better, not attached to anything that before. Huh. Ah, she has that. The Colonel. Attachment issue, abandonment issues. Right. This does seem like just a normal conversation. Hmm. Is she going now be like, well, she's changing things, getting rid of the life and bits and pieces that she loved and replacing it with her own. Just like the mother tore things apart before. I'll just have to come back, I guess. What? Is this just a big act and is making you think that they're... No. You would think, unless it's like extortion money, you'd think, you wouldn't want to borrow stuff from someone like that. Huh. Oh, no interest. No interest. Yeah, That's why you don't go around borrowing money, to be fair. I could never understand the getting further and further into debt, having to rely on people like this to get out of a tight spot. At least he knocks first. How much is the interest, though? Ah. Is she going to lend them the money for the interest? No, she's going to form a different loan. So, yeah, you won't be indebted to him. Read these things you're signing first before signing them. No matter what kind of damage you're in. Oh. It's a fairly good bit of money. It would be good if she had some sort of recording device or something to capture this conversation. I see. The faking... They're just still kneeling there throughout that entire conversation. Okay. Surprise. Well, there's not much that they can do about it, to be fair, but I suppose they'd let them in on it. Alright. I see he is subservient to someone, at least. No greetings, no nothing. How can she act so nice on the surface and yet... I mean... I like him even more. Go off, go by yourself, go and get the sweetest dessert possible. Ah, damn. Oh, she's one of those. Well, someone's trying to keep to themselves and yet reaching out and making conversation. Do you think that he can do some extra work? I mean, he hasn't so far. He knows of them, yes. It's... And is she a known scam artist? Depends what you count as dangerous, but... I mean, considering it concerns her family and everything, trying to keep things held back out of, a badger game? I've not heard of that. Yeah. So it's what they discussed earlier. Okay. I didn't know it had a name like that. Well, it depends. Only if they're really insistent. He's wizened beyond his years, the poor man. Already gone? She has places to be, people to save. Now the embers of hatred are lit. Is she going to actually speak to her dad at all and come to some sort of understanding, even if he doesn't listen, or trying to take things on herself? To be fair, out of everything, this has kind of come out of left field. I didn't think we'd be touching a story of blackmail and money with Renner and her family. And the more that we see of the uncle, Satoko's uncle, and his dealings and involvement in certain things, I think we need to see a lot more than just a bat colliding with bone, even if it was just all in his mind before. I mean, I kind of understand why people would fall into a life like that. Easy money. Oh, we can quickly get stuff without having to truly work for it. You just belittle and beat people down until you get what they have. But do they not look at themselves, what they're doing at any point? Atonement chapter. Oh, the weapon comes back. Yeah, I don't know why. Obviously, there's going to be a few twists and turns along the way. I can't see where. Well, I can see where this would go off the rails and go bad, but tying it back in with everything else that we've seen. That's the tricky bit I'm having to pass in my mind. Still, is anyone else going to try and... Well, is Rena going to reach out to anyone else and have anyone brought in to try and help out? Or is she going to try and handle this all by her lonesome? I think it's probably doing it on purpose, but it does, me personally, no matter what the story, how heavily it pushes it, I detest people like that. Using the weaknesses of others to bully their way through life rather than do anything productive. Yeah, getting into Rena's issues with throwing anything away, like her mother threw away her family for someone else. The fact that she brought up, oh, that man that we hang out with a lot, do you like him? Yeah, because even though I'm currently married and living with your father, yeah, no. Fucking. Unless it was a joint agreement, so yeah, sure, we don't love each other, we'll be divorced and whatnot. If this is all behind his back, then that makes her even worse in my eyes. Not that I'm biased or anything. But trying to lay a guilt trip on her, so why the hell would you want to live with your father? No. You obviously want to be with your mother, don't you? There's a lot for the poor girl to go through after just trying to have a nice day out, have some dessert, and then, oh, that gets laid at her feet. And to think we almost had a nice moment at the beginning where they're just enjoying the time together in the sun and, well, water. Oddly animated in weird direction, but it was a fun sequence. But as you've seen throughout all of this, it can turn on a dime, and I wonder what the time out in the junkyard is going to be. Her new home away from home in the camper van, which she's built for herself with the other discarded relics of the past. Who was in the bin bag? Much like the bag that was in the river before in the early episode. Are we going to be shown, or is it just going to be there's corpses down below? Don't need to be pressed on any further than that. We will have to see. And unfortunately, that means getting into some more, no matter how deranged or dangerous it gets. I'm looking forward to it. If I've entertained you, maybe you've enjoyed this one. And if that is the case, let me know. Leave a like and a comment down below. Consider subscribing so that you don't miss out. Join to my Discord if that catches your interest. But for now, definitely try and get some rest. I really don't see a good way out of this. See you in the next one. Considering his wife left him, if he gets involved with something like that, and then he gets caught in a honey trap, badger trap bullshit, oh god, the man's going to be crushed. If you wouldn't mind falling into the money trap that is my channel, consider joining onto my Patreon. You won't have to pay any interest rates, and there's some anime out of it. So, if that feels like a scam you could fall for, maybe you can join along with Noku, Sao, Guado, Kite, Raywin, Shiwan, Tori Jane, and everyone else. Because truthfully, I am infinitely grateful.